Howdy, howdy. Let's see. I'm short two co-hosts. There we go. There's Lindy. We're live. I launched it.
Sorry, a bit late.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm not sure where Michael's at, so we'll have to check in on him. I thought he'd be in here. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You
Want to
didn't get
message?
the
He might not have got the memo that we started an hour later today. But
yeah.
no worries.
Yeah, back-to-back meetings, so
We
I'm
did.
not ready.
No, I hear you. I'm a little frazzled too. But
Yeah.
welcome 700 plus and counting down. We appreciate you guys coming. Let's see here. Gonna go through. We had some comments already today. And yeah, how was your guys' weekend? And let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat and how your Thanksgiving went, if you came out in one piece or not. Still carnivore. What's your favorite carnivore dishes were? Let us know in the chat. And then I'll get a hold of see if our tech guy Michael's coming or not. Hope he's doing good. And yeah.
Yeah. He's
So
fasting at the moment too, isn't he? So
Yes. Yeah, he's been fasting for I think close to 15 days now, hasn't he?
oh, how does he do it? I can't do that.
He's a trooper.
Yeah,
But
machine. And you're like 5 days in, aren't you? 5 days into your fast?
yep, got two more of the
Mm,
7 days, but I don't go crazy like Michael. Michael goes for calendar months.
yeah.
But
No.
yeah, he's doing awesome. You had an exciting week this week, huh?
Oh, it's been huge. I still haven't come down yet. I'm looking forward to hopefully tomorrow just having some time out just to relax. But yeah, it's just been go, 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 go. I had some guests. I had Bella come and visit me here in Australia and Kerry Mann and Adam from Carnivore today. So yeah, that was really cool. I was interviewed for Healing Humanity documentary. So that all went well. Yeah, played with some kangaroos and koalas, and I made my first ever prime rib roast in the smoker. That was so good. Yeah, it's been amazing. So, bit of a whirlwind trip. Yesterday, I met another Melbourne. Oh, she's from Perth actually, Carnivore. She came over to my house and she's actually was in the SBG 3 years ago when I started, the only other Aussie carnivore I'd ever met, like online. And I used to sit there and think, oh, I wish I knew her. And I actually got to meet her yesterday, so that was awesome. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's super cool. Well, I can tell you, when you guys were at the wildlife park, it was a hit on the live stream. Everybody was loving it.
Oh, we had the best time. Yeah. I wish I could take you all with me and just feed all the little kangaroos. They're so cute.
Right.
Hi, Beck.
All right. We already got some questions in here. Oh, and please, well, I forgot to put the banner up. See, I can't function when Michael's not here.
Oh,
We
should I put my glasses on so I can help you? I
No,
was just
no worries. we don't have our pit crew.
oh,
Michael's leaving us to our own devices. Question. Carnivore for 13 months, quit snuff in January. Congratulations. And gained 10 kilograms, which I think, isn't that about 20 pounds? I think.
I think so. Yeah, double-ish.
Yeah. 10 centimeters around my waist. Had diarrhea from May till September. Better now. Why not losing? Okay. So I mean, so many questions here. You say carnivore is subjective. What carnivore? Like, what does your carnivore diet actually look like? Is it, are you eating dairy? Are you eating processed carnivore foods? What kind of meat are you eating? Are you eating a lot of carnivore snacks like pork rinds and beef jerky that might have hidden stuff in them? Are you eating? I'd have to know more about your diet for sure. And then also, you quit Carnivore 13 months, quit snuff in January. Okay, so you quit snuff a long time ago, almost a year. So yeah, I mean, look, Carnivore 13 months. Yeah, I mean, if you quit snuff, that shouldn't be causing it anymore. You should be way past the cravings and stuff on that. I would suspect what you're eating. If you're gaining inches and weight, I would wonder what you're eating. So we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna need a little more information. Let's see. I have for the most part been eating 3 times a day. I feel horrible when I fast. I have low energy when I train, not in everyday life. Well, so again, I need to know what you're eating. So
Yeah. Because,
yeah,
I mean, you may be having 3 meals a day. They could be tiny meals like me, and you end up under eating, and then you
yeah,
tank your metabolism, everything slows down, you feel like crap. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You could be not eating enough dietary fat. You might not be fat adapt yet. You could
Yeah.
be having too lean a protein and having gluconeogenesis problems. There's a whole smorgasbord of of things. We'll have to have more information, but definitely put it in here and let us know.
Mm.
Um, let's see. And then Tim, of course, Tim asked you, which you kind of hit up. Lindy, how was it having Bella and the others with you?
I was so nervous because, I'm like one of those people that doesn't really like to cook, and so literally the steak comes out of the freezer into the air fryer, eat it in like 5 minutes, and I'm done. And I felt like cooking for royalty. Like these people, they've got their big smokers and all this fabulous beef, but that was nerve-wracking. But I think I aced it with Todd's help. We spent like what an hour on Zoom going through my butcher website, picking the cut of meat. Then he worked out what like sea level I was. Like I have no idea. Then had to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and we got all the temperatures done. So yeah, you made me look like a pro. So I was very, very thankful for your help.
Well, that's awesome. It looked delicious. You made me hungry for sure. Those
Yeah,
pictures looked awesome for sure.
yeah. And Bella did say mine was better than Todd's. So
She would say that it looked better than mine. I was jealous. It looked fantastic, and I
yeah,
the meat looked great. So I bet it was absolutely delicious. Um,
yeah.
yeah, but now that see what happens when you become the best steak cooker in town is you end up having a lot of guests and you end up cooking a lot of steak. So don't be surprised when your house is the carnivore spot now.
Well, I bought another prime rib yesterday for my Aussie friend who came over, and I got up early. I put it in the smoker, and I knew what temperature to go. But then I had a couple of meetings to do, so I said to my husband, "Look, I've done everything. Everything's prepped. All you need to do is take the prime rib out when it hits 54 degrees, pop it on the vent with some foil." And he comes out later and he shows it to me, and it looked really good. And he had this funny look. I'm like, "What's wrong?" 61. He overcooked it. I said, "You
Oh,
had one job."
right?
One job, 54 degrees out. So he didn't like it because it was overcooked. So, and it wasn't my fault, it was his. So I can't
Yeah.
even trust him with that now. Like,
Oh
seriously.
man. Scott.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yes.
it shouldn't have been terrible. I mean, obviously that was way overcooked, but shouldn't
Yeah,
have
I
been.
still ate it, and she did as well. She took it home and just sent me a message earlier to say that it was a nice dinner because we couldn't eat it all. There was so much there. But oh, one job.
Scott, good lord, man. Watch the
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, I might have to get one of those portable ones that syncs to my phone because, yeah, if I had have known, like, I obviously can't rely on him, but if I get distracted in a meeting or something like that, I need that
Well,
dis
and the thing is, what you do is you just pace it a little bit, right? So watch the thermometer go up, after it's been in there like an hour and a half, watch the thermometer go up and go, okay, it's going up about 1 degree every 3 minutes. And then, you can kind of scale it and go, okay, I need to be back here in 20 minutes to check on it again.
Yeah. Well, being the second one, I haven't got that far yet, so but
No
it's
worries.
definitely something I'll look into moving
It
forward.
helps. It just gives
Yeah.
you, if you do that and you keep it a little bit mindful, you end up being a little you just end up having a sixth sense for it. And then once you get there, you'll know when it's ready by how it smells. You'll smell the meat in the air and you're like, oh, that's smelling like it's finally about ready to go. And then you can just smell it and go, I better go check on that. And it's usually
Yeah.
really close for
Cool.
sure. Let's see here.
Day 62 on Carnivore, across 7 measurements, lost another 7.5, or 7.25 on month 2. That's a total of 24 inches for 2 months. Is that right?
Yep, 24.25 inches. Yep, 24 and a quarter.
Yeah. Still
That's
saving the weigh-in until 100 days, feeling great. Wow, you can get a huge surprise, I'm sure. Good
that is
job.
that is awesome. Yeah, and you got to be
Yeah.
feeling fantastic too.
That's the main thing, isn't it? Just go by how you feel. But the weight loss is always good too.
For sure. And yeah, exciting time for Lindy. Absolutely. Hey, Charlie, good to see you.
Hi, Charlie.
That's exactly right. I'm definitely gonna go check out. I want to see those so bad it's ridiculous. Those kangaroos, out of all of them, are the ones that look like, I could see Cosette and one of those being buddies.
Uh, I have a feeling Bella liked the wombats better because she bought herself this huge stuffed wombat. And Max just looked at her and says, now, where are you going to put that on the plane? Like, you're going to carry that through customs. So he was a little, she obviously got it home in one piece, I think. So, yeah, she just loved the wombats. And I don't think we actually filmed that. So we'll have to go back and do
I
that.
don't
But
I don't know what a wombat is. What is a wombat?
oh, it's big. I don't know. They've got the bony butt. They dig sort of burrows. So if anything comes and tries to bite them, they just bite the bone. It's like, yeah, they're huge. I don't know. What does it look like? A dog with little legs, bit of a rat face, but they're marsupials as well.
Huh,
Yeah.
I'll have to check one out. That's kind of interesting.
I have to Google it. I'll see if I can find a video.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, they're quite cute.
Hi from Germany. Tried carnivore a few months ago, but got so tired of always the same food that I stopped it only a few days later. Maybe I was too strict with it. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't like. I think that there's a lot of options. I mean, there's fair amount of options on carnivore. And when I hear people saying that I got tired of not, having selections or whatever, what it really means is that we got tired of not having the sweet taste and the bready, whatever our addiction is, we got tired of not having that particular thing. And so for a while, it's until you get free from cravings and until you get free from the addiction side of things, or at least have it under control. Uh, you're not get your cravings are not hunger, and that's one thing you got to learn. Well, if you're used to hunger being a craving, you're not going to have cravings on carnivore. But so you kind of got to run out of, you kind of just have to mentally stick with it for 90 days really to get free, and then to be able to understand what hunger is versus cravings, because you got to get free from the cravings first, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you sort of have to are you eating because you enjoy it for fun, or like I was a comfort eater. Um, so you can't sort of turn to food for that. You should be eating to survive, not to because you enjoy it. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But for me, being consumed by food 24/7, I love that freedom that I have now. I just literally eat, forget about it, and then move on and live my life. I don't want to be thinking about food. I don't find enjoyment in food anymore. So, um, for me, that's why this is working because I don't want to think about eating anymore. So quick and easy. I don't care about variety. I don't need the variety anymore. I just eat it to nourish my body, keep my metabolism ramped up, and then just do what I need to do. So,
Yeah, don't let your food be your recreation.
yeah.
like going to see the wombats be your recreation, and
I
you know,
know. Yeah.
don't eat the wombats. So
No, I'm sure they'd be pretty tough.
little gamey. Are you going to eat kangaroo meat again? I saw the video with Carrie.
Oh, I haven't seen the video yet. Look, we're gonna have to go and look for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. Skippy belongs in the bush for me. No, it wasn't very nice. We did it 2 ways. We did it in the smoker, and then we did one just pan-seared with lots of butter, but it has a very gamey taste, and I didn't know what gamey was until my daughter pointed it out. It almost tasted vinegary, like, it was weird flavor. But the smoked one was definitely better, and maybe that's because it masked some of that gaminess, but yeah, the prime rib that we had left over was so much nicer.
for sure.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. She said I did fill up for quite a long time, so I ate less food. That's for sure. Right, and these are so these are such funny things because you're echoing a very common theme in the carnivore space, and one in your so you're eating less because carnivore food is satiating, and
Yeah.
because you actually will start replacing some leptin sensitivity, which is your satiation hormone, and two, it's because carnivore food feeds your hunger, where carbs feed your addiction, and so you'll eat a lot more when you're getting a fix than you will when you're just feeding hunger. So that's literally what the standard American diet foods are. The processed carbohydrates are called hyperpalatable foods that light
Mm.
up the addiction centers in your brain, all the endorphin centers and the pleasure centers in your brain. It lights them up. It's not satiating. In fact, it causes an insulin spike, which blocks leptin sensitivity that makes you eat so much more of it. But that's not hunger. That's a craving. That's like drug doping, basically.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you eaten and gone into a food coma, just feel totally stuffed, and then in an hour you're hungry again? And
Right.
it's like you're searching for your next meal. You don't do that with carnivore. You eat and you go hours without even thinking about food again.
For sure. For sure. And then the other funny thing is we get so used to, we're like in this comment too, you're like, and I ate less, that's for sure. We're also kind of brainwashed to think that that's a good thing. The reason why I ate less is because you weren't eating for an addiction, you're eating food, and our metabolisms are so low from not eating any nutrition and having anything to work off of, that our body slows our metabolism down because we're always under eating in real nutrition. That it's kind of funny I would definitely recommend joining the SBG and priming and getting free from the sugar addiction, and also get your metabolism healed. And so it'll be the exact opposite after 90 days. You will crave meat, and you'll eat it in high quantities. You'll eat more calories and meat than you thought possible, but your body will heal. You'll get a lot of lean tissue. You'll start to lean out. You'll get muscular, and that'll start eating away at fat, and you'll end up healing up things and leaning out after. It takes longer for sure because it's the correct way around it to heal first, but it's interesting to watch for sure.
Mm.
So Tim will tell you in the chat. I'm sure he's already telling you actually. Uh,
I hate cooking. One of the worst things about being a grown up, in my opinion. One definite plus of carnivore is the simplicity. Yeah. I used to love cooking, but yeah, the dishes and the mess, and then, the vegetables you pull out of the fridge and they're already half dead before you start using them, and you just bought them. I love not having any of that to worry about anymore. So, and I think it's really important to have tools. Like, my air fryer has been a game changer for me. Just less mess in the kitchen. I hated the fry pan and the oil everywhere. The Ninja is fantastic. You just take the 3 parts out of the middle, stick it in the dishwasher, clean. Just give it a once over with a cloth. Super, super clean. And now the smoker, I do it outside. I open the windows because I love the smell of that smoke coming through the house. Weird, maybe, but it does smell good. Um, And then, just stuck on a chopping board, stick it on the bench, piece of foil, leave it to rest, and then dig in. It is so cool. And now the dehydrator, because when I've got so much meat, when I do my roast in the smoker, I just chop it up really finely, throw it in the dehydrator, and I make like these little jerky things. That's a lamb roast, and that's what I'm eating. So good. You've got all the fatty bits, and I make it nice and chewy, and I live on that now. Absolute game changer. 3 appliances. A lot
That's
of food.
awesome.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
do it
no,
all on the weekend, and I have food for the week. Super cheap too.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've just an air fryer and a smoker for me, and that cooks 90% of my stuff, and I do it all in a day too, you know?
Yeah. And it's a lot to invest in the one day, but you cook up meat for a whole week. If you add up all of that, all the takeouts and things you used to buy, it's so much cheaper doing
For sure.
this meat. Yeah.
I wanna go back to our old live streams from about a year ago when you were giving me a hard time about being a steak Nazi.
Oh, okay. I'm enjoying my smoker now.
I know, I wanna go back where you're like, "Whatever, you're crazy, just put it in the air fryer frozen and cook the bejesus out of it."
I still do that. Like, yeah, for a quick meal, I wouldn't go to all the trouble that you do. I mean, this is a luxury, the smoker. It's been great, but it's easy because I'm doing the dry airing. Like, I just pop it in the fridge on a rack and let it dry air, or what do you call it
Yeah,
when it's
well,
in the fridge?
dry brine, but yeah, for
Dry
sure.
brine. So just
Yeah,
for the day, and then the next morning, stick it straight in the smoker, and then I'll leave it for until it hits the temperature, and then take it out, and it's done. So there's no preparation or anything. I just
right,
have to
it's
watch the thermometer. That I
and
can do.
and remember when we were having these arguments back then, I told you it's not as complicated as you think. It's actually really easy. It's just getting in that rhythm. But your honest opinion now, what would you rather eat? Would you rather eat with a little bit of, because that's what always bugged me was you're like, yeah, but why would you do all that? It's like, because it would drive me nuts to get that steak and know how it could taste, but then make it bad. And I'm like, because it would make me mad. Going, I know what that could be, and I didn't do it, and it's an expensive piece of meat, so it would make me mad not to make it taste as good as possible. But
Well, I had one prime rib left, and Kerry put it in the smoker for, I think, 20 minutes, and then he showed me how he pan sears it. It was nice, but I couldn't be bothered with that. I have to wait 20 minutes in the smoker, then try and pan sear it, then let it rest. No, that's too much work. If I've got people, it's a treat for me, and I will put the effort in. But for myself, I'm still happy with my frozen steak in the air fryer. So does that answer your question? I'm a
a,
lazy cook.
a little bit, but the smoked ones are exponentially better than the air fried ones, right?
Yeah, for sure. But as I said, food's not important to me. I don't eat for enjoyment anymore. So I'm quite happy with my air fryer steak, frozen air fryer steak. But if I've got visitors, I will enjoy myself and do it properly. So
For sure.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you're coming around. You'll be a steak connoisseur here pretty soon where you'll be a snake stop like the rest of us where you'll be annoying the new carnivores.
Oh, not if I get my husband to watch the smoker, I won't be. It's
Well,
expensive meat to overcook. Yeah.
well, on that note, Charlie says, I'll just pop this back and then I'll come back to Josie. Charlie says, tell Scott to take it out at 42 degrees. Usually a little reverse psychology, start low.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Josie,
we call it my happy chair. I don't know why. I loved it too. I just loved all the pretty colors. So yeah.
that's
The
awesome.
bird loves it too. He goes and hides under the cushion. So whenever my husband comes, like, check the chair before you sit in it, because there might be a bird behind the pillow.
They might have been wallabies. I don't know. Hoppy little things with a little pouch.
Yeah, the wallabies and patamelons, I think, are really little ones as well, and I think they're mainly in Tasmania. So they're mainly jump around the park. But there were a few big kangaroos, but they were all resting under the trees, so we didn't get many kangaroos come to us. They're definitely a lot bigger.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I definitely want to come see him. I think Cosette would love it. I think she would enjoy the heck out of it. I don't know. We're gonna have to smuggle one in my carry-on. What happens if you get caught with a wallaby in your carry-on?
Well, they love little hideys. You can just stick one in your hat. You might be right.
There we go. That'd be awesome. Todd and Lindy, would you consider yourselves a sugar addict at this point in your journey? Okay, here we go. Tim's starting
Here we
crap
go.
again.
We just had a big debate in the chew in SBG, and I was cooking at the time, and I was listening, thinking I need to get back to this, but I missed out. So go for it. You start. Are you a sugar
No,
addict?
no, I'm not. I think I'm a fully recovered sugar addict, is what I would say. Prior sugar addict, fully recovered, because I don't have any cravings. And I'm not saying that I couldn't have cravings again. I just said it's not right now. And I'm absolutely not saying I couldn't get re-addicted to it. I could definitely go back and eat more sugar and become addicted again. But I personally don't feel like I'm an addict. It doesn't mean that if I did come up with a craving, I definitely would want to stay away from it. And I'd have to do all the same things that I did when I was craving it to stay away from it. And it's definitely on my radar of things to watch. But for whatever reason, I just don't have any propensity for it. I don't understand it either. But yeah, so I say no, I'm not a sugar addict. How about you, Lindy?
Yeah. Well, prior to Texas, I was like you. I felt very strong, very with it. I would actually put myself into situations where there's biscuits and crap in front of me, and I would be so happy with myself because I wasn't tempted to touch it at all. Come home, and then my world kind of fell apart with my daughter's health, and had the wind knocked out of my sails, if you like, and those cravings came back. I think it's more a comfort thing because it's a safe place, and that's I turn to food to drown or fill the void. Like I'm upset, and that was my sort of coping mechanism. And so, yeah, the cravings have been difficult because, I let things in, thinking it's only one time, and that one time becomes more, and then it's really hard to jump back on the wagon. So I'm good now, but I still have to fight every day because life still isn't 100%. I'm not happy yet with what's going on, and every day is a struggle. So I think, no, I am a sugar and carb addict because, yeah, when life gets difficult, those old habits come back, if you like. Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
hard to change. So, yeah, I thought I
Huh.
was, yeah.
Well,
So it'd be interesting to see. I hope nothing bad happens in your life and that you don't get the wind knocked out of your sails. But it'll be interesting to see if those habits sort of come back and rear their
yeah.
ugly head then. Yeah.
Well, you guys will definitely see it. It's going to be on camera. If it happens, you'll see me show up sugar hungover.
The thing is you're aware of it now, and I think just to prove me wrong, you'll make it an effort not to fall off
Oh,
because
for
you're
sure.
so headstrong. So you're like, oh, I'm not can't tell Lindy she's right. So you're going to
Oh,
be gung ho. So you'll probably be fine.
oh, even before that, I was already saying the same thing. I've said this so many times that I'm like, I got to make this, but I mean, for so many reasons, if that being the least of them, just I truly hate what sugar's done to so many people and my family, friends, stuff like that. It's like, I don't even begin to want to support it, buy into it, let it trick me, at all.
Mm.
But it doesn't, but I also don't, I'm not, I'm not saying that I can't get re-addicted to it at all either. I know that I would go off the rails if I started drinking Coke and eating sugary crap. Yeah, it's still an addictive drug. I'll still get re-addicted to it. Same, but I'm having a hard time understanding that aspect of it where when somebody in the chew said today, well, that's because you're not allowing yourself to be tempted because you're not having it. And then so basically they're saying basically the premise was that if you don't have it to tempt, like if you don't taste sugar to tempt yourself and not have a craving, then you must still be an addict. You're just staying away from being tempted. And it's like what I'm saying is and maybe something else will change. I don't know. But right now, if if you've never had heroin and you've never tasted it, would you have to try heroin and then not and be able to stop heroin and not crave it at all in order for you to say that you're not an addict?
Yeah.
Or are you not an addict because you've never tried heroin? I don't know what, because basically the premise was that because I don't tempt myself by eating sugar again and then prove that I don't crave it again. And I'm like, well, that's a heck of a catch 22 because I ate sugar and got addicted to it the first time. So I can get re-addicted to it. So does
Yeah.
that, by that same premise, wouldn't that mean that you can get addicted to that you're an addict to everything that you haven't tried yet? If you haven't tried it and then not had a craving for it? Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
to, so I guess the definition is what is being tempted. And to me, being tempted is to be able to be in the very direct proximity of it, where all I'd have to do is grab it and eat it, and not having a craving for it, not being tempted. That's what I thought temptation would mean. Like when I go to the shop on Monday mornings and all the cinnamon rolls and muffins and stuff are there, and I look at it, I don't go, "Oh, that would taste so good." That never comes in my mind. I go, "Yeah, that stuff. That's how I got 700 pounds. That stuff killed Dad and Ty." That's what I think when I see it. And I'm like, that stuff is so bad. It's so addictive. It causes problems. I have no craving for it. I have disdain for it, but I have no craving for it. And so I don't know. That's why I don't know. We're going to have to talk to smarter people than me about it. But I want to have that conversation so much more because I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, for me, I didn't eat because I was hungry. Like, you're always hungry, but it's more that comfort thing, trying to block, just turn my mind off, give myself something else to do, kind of thing. I'll be sitting in front of the TV, disappointed, depressed about something, missing my mum, whatever the case. And food was always my comfort. It was always something that, even from a little girl, when I was upset, my grandmother would sneak me into a bedroom. It's like, here's a chocolate, make you feel better. Yeah, don't worry, don't cry. And, into a secret stash. And that was always my coping mechanism. So when things are not looking good, that's where my mind goes. And when you're tired, your guard's down, you sort of just you turn to that comfort food. So whether it's an addiction or just a bad habit that keeps wanting to come back, that could be that. So yeah, it
Yeah.
could be just
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I just maybe I understand. Sorry, I'm pulling up a deal here for the next comment, but um I totally agree. And I realize that I'm a complete outlier. And my goal in having this conversation is not to rub it into anybody's nose or say that addiction doesn't exist or that I don't believe that you're not free. I think and that's not what I'm saying at all. Because I believe
mm,
that up until well, not even 23 months ago, really. I believe that up until about 14 months ago, I believe the same thing. My goal here is to tell people there might really be a light at the end of the tunnel where you can actually be completely free from it because I landed there somehow. And I
yeah,
understand that I'm blessed and lucky and all those things. And I'm not at all I'm not at all discounting anybody's struggle there because I know exactly what it's like. And I'm right there with you. I thought too. I'm equally astonished at what I'm saying right now.
yeah.
Right? I'm
No, but
not,
I did feel exactly that before Texas.
yeah.
I was putting myself out there in situations which I would never been able to do before. And I'm getting there again because I want that feeling back. I want to be strong. I want to be able to do all of that. I just have to work a lot harder at it and fight those voices. And I know just by keeping eating meat and doing all that, I'm going to get there again and get that off switch back. But that off switch is very easy to lose.
Yeah, it is. And I guess the only way that I've been able to be tempted, now that I think about it, because I'm just putting this together, the only way that I'm not able to be tempted, or that I am able to be tempted, I should say, that I've ever noticed is when I'm not fasting and I'm not mentally in a fast, and haven't kind of prepared for it or made a plan out of it, right? So something comes sideways and I don't have food here. Like that's when I'm dangerous is when
Mm.
I run out of like meat or something on a non-fasting week
Mhm.
and I don't make plans for a couple of days and and it's in the back of my head and I'm kind of stressed out about it because I didn't plan well. That's the most weak I've ever been. And they're right in that matter of fact that I don't
Yeah.
allow myself to get tempted that way because I know to not do that. I know,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh, It is definitely important to think ahead and be prepared so you don't fall
Yeah.
into that trap. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I've resisted it so far, but that's only because I was trying to think back. And that's the only time I was looking at my mom's crappy food going, oh, I could just eat that. Ooh, that might taste good. And, I've resisted it, but that was the only time that anything remotely close to cravings come in. And that's why I was like, stop doing that. Order the meat, get it, keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Rosemary Swords, just discovered your channel today. Can't believe there's a live stream. Donated to the fundraiser. Hope your surgery goes well.
Oh, thank you, Rosemary. You're
That
bringing
is,
that up again. I'm so embarrassed by that.
I know, and I knew that Lindy was going to hate this, but I'm about to do this again. So,
Oh,
Lindy is going to kill me, and she's thankful, but also is trying to wring my neck. I can't go to Australia for at least 2 years now because she's going to punch me. But I started to GoFundMe for Lindy because Lindy's lost over 500 pounds and she has a skin surgery scheduled. And because of certain life events that came up, she was going to cancel it. And that's not fair. And so we put this, I'm putting it in the chat now, this fundraiser on GoFundMe together to make sure she gets her skin surgery because anybody who loses 500 pounds deserves to put that thing to bed and get the skin surgery. So you're just going to have to be mad at me. That's going to keep going on until you have that skin off. So that's the plan.
thank you, but you're never safe if you come to Australia.
I'm still getting
You'll
punched
get punched either way. Yeah.
for sure. That's all right. I will take the
And
hit.
I'll make sure that I video it at the same time as well. Everyone
You
can
should.
see.
uh, let's
A
see. All right.
24-ounce ribeye tonight. I sure enjoyed that. Great job.
That is awesome. Sorry, I'm getting behind on, I'm going to read through these real quick because now we got too many to do all of them. So I got to make sure I focus on the questions. All right. Okay, here's a good one. I
Ah,
don't.
no, I thought I saw Michael, but that was you posting. That's all right.
Yeah. What was your eating strategy to lose weight? At times, did you ever get frustrated? Thanks. Oh yeah, got frustrated many times. That's why, um, that's why a carnivore community like SBG that both me and Lindy are in is so important because look, it's complicated. It really is. The body's complicated. There's things that go on. We have preconceived notions that we don't understand that work against us when because of things that we don't understand. We interpret things wrong. Still do. And it's really handy to have a big community of people that are all going through these things at the same time and people that have gone ahead of you that have been successful, that you're not listening to hypothesis and stuff. You're listening to people that actually did it. And so long story short, you stall out. There's so many things, there's a difference between composition changes and weight loss and getting lean body tissue that's offsetting the fat that you're losing. So you don't see it on the scale, but you see it in your clothes. Also, when your body's healing and oxalate dumping, and just if you've lost too much fluid or weight at all, you'll go on a stall and you don't know why, but it'll last 6 months. But you just got to eat through it, the carnivore stuff, and then all of a sudden it all drops off. I mean, there's so many things to that, and it's an absolute roller coaster. But carnivore is a animal-based elimination diet, and its main objective is not weight loss; it's healing. But the good thing is that after you heal, the weight comes off because a healthy body will get rid of the excess weight. and that is much better because that's what you want. You don't want a light body. I mean, for instance, that oh gosh, I forget what platform I'm on, so I can't use the words because I'll get banned for using the
Yeah.
words. But I hate these stupid censored sites. But on a standard American diet, when you lose weight, you're losing about 1/3 pound lean body mass. That means that when you calorie restrict on a standard American diet to lose weight, you're losing about 1/3 muscle, bone, dense, lean tissue that's good tissue that you need, and you're losing about 2/3 fat and uh, fluid, okay, water. And when you're taking those stupid drugs that I can't mention that they give you a shot for that used to be for diabetes, but now it's for weight loss and everybody's taking them like crazy, you lose 2/3 lean body mass and only 1/3 fat and fluid. So that means that the scale's going down, but your body fat to lean mass is actually going up. So your BMI is actually going up. You're actually becoming skinny fat, if that makes sense. Right. And so that's why those things are bad, number one. But on carnivore, when you do carnivore, you lose fat, but your lean body mass goes up. So it's why you can't see that reflected in a scale. You have to, but you will see it in composition changes and in inches. And it's so effective and it's such a big metabolic change that your body needs to calm down. It needs to heal and take its time while it's doing it because it's going through big, big, big metabolic changes. But you want to heal. You want lean tissue. You want healthy tissue. You want muscle. You want bone density. You want good myelin on your nerves. You want a high functioning metabolism and mitochondria and lymphatic system. You want all these things to heal. And that's what your body's going to prioritize when you give it nutrition. And then when you're healed, as it's going along, your body will drop weight, but you'll be much better off for it. So, for whatever that's worth, but I highly suggest joining the steak and butter gang so that you're in a community so that so that you can have help working through these things. I'm confused about being binge eating. Some say it's physiological. Some say it's purely food addiction, sugar or processed food. Some that you're an addict, like an alcoholic, and never goes away. Well, I don't even know. I was like, I've never figured out what binge eating means exactly. But I don't think I was ever a binge eater, which is crazy because I was 700 pounds. But I don't think I was ever a binge eater. I got my addiction that got me to that weight was drinking energy drinks and soda for the most part. And don't get me wrong, I had an appetite, but I don't think I fit the bill of a binge eater. How about you, Lindy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so easy just to eat carbs. Like I find they're slippery foods. I can get them down with lap-band restriction. I can easily get the ice cream and the chocolates down, and you can have it, and then you just want more. So it's always I could easily just keep eating that and not have a problem with it, except that you get to 800 pounds, and that's not a good thing either. So like,
Little
um,
problem.
yeah, and then you see me trying to eat steak, and like this thing would last me a day or two, and it's just a little bit of because it just doesn't go down. So I struggle. I'm not eating, but I'm not losing weight because I'm not eating enough. But I can eat tons of the crap food because it's so easy to get down, and then I gain the weight. So like calories in, calories out. I'm not eating anything, but my weight has always plateaued. At the moment, I'm in a plateau because I'm not getting enough food in me. That's so it is crap. But look, binge eating, I don't know. I think I always felt I was broken. That off switch that I keep talking about, I never had one, but now I do with carnivore. I never had it with and when I do go off the wagon and I have something that's wrong, like I shouldn't be, that off switch just disappears, and then it's just very easy to want to binge on the foods that I'm not allowed to have. That's why I have to abstain from these things. So learning about your body, and it's a struggle. Like it's a daily struggle. You always have to be mindful of what you're eating, and it's hard work, that off switch, to keep it. Um, you just got
Fact.
to. I think it's just a bit of tough love on yourself. What are your goals? Why are you doing this? But a lot of people that say that they're binge eaters and I 800 pounds, which I don't know. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and I always thought of binge eaters as the ones that like binge and purge either through, expelling it or exercise, And so there's those there. I always thought that that's what it was. But I mean, just eating a lot or starting to eat and not being able to stop or whatever, or having to eat certain things. Those are, I mean, it's just a drug addiction to the
Mm,
hyperpalatable foods. I mean, these multi-billion-dollar big food companies have designed food to be hyperpalatable and hit all the pleasure centers of the brain on purpose because that means you get addicted to their product. And I mean, that's just an absolute given. We all know that that's what they do now. It's not even really disputed by anybody, by anybody that studied it. It's absolutely what happens. And so when you're eating drugs that have no nutrition that your body's lacking, in any meaningful sense, you're going to be either in a constant state of having a drug urge to get your fix of sugar, and at the same time your body's screaming out to get protein, fat, animal fats, amino acids, and fix your hormones and all the stuff that you're not getting in that crappy food. And so you're having real hunger that's making you ravenous, and you're also having these drug addiction cravings, and your mind's just in a state of chaos because you know you're having you have all this extra weight on you and have all those empty calories, but you're actually starving. You're actually
yeah.
so malnourished.
That's what, yeah, Coach Raymond said to me when I started with him. He's like, "You are so malnourished." And I almost laughed at him. I'm like, how can I be malnourished? Look at me, 800 pounds. How can I be malnourished? But I truly believe that is right, and that's why I didn't have the off switch. My hormones were tanked. My body had no idea what it was doing. And you just crave all this food. You just keep wanting it. But I wouldn't eat all day, and then at nighttime, that's when I sat down, and then I would just have food then. So, like, I'd be fasting most of the day because I was too busy with work or fast asleep, passed out on the couch because I was, too big to go and make myself food. But at nighttime, we'd sit on the couch, and that's when the meals would happen. And um, yeah, just didn't never had that off switch. And I think the cravings are your body telling you that you need nourishment, but I wasn't giving it the nourishment it needed. So once I started a carnivore, switched over just eating meat, and I was very strict to start. I went cold turkey, literally porterhouse, maybe a couple of egg yolks and salt, bit of water. That's it. And it took a few weeks, but those cravings kind of sort of simmered down, and they weren't as strong. And I got my off switch, something that I never even knew existed. So that was such a yeah, that was amazing to actually go from 50 years of being, just focused on food 24/7 to actually finally having an off switch that most people probably experience every day. I never ever had that.
For sure.
So I do think it's definitely hormonal imbalance, psychological, and the foods that are making us addicted. So I think it's a bit of everything.
Right. I agree. And I don't know. This has been the right combination for me to get rid of it too. So I don't know. And I mean, we had this conversation today, and part of it was, a lot of it was just hormones and brain chemistry went away. A lot of it was habit changes. A lot of it was mindset on, not just like I'm making up my mind not to do this. That's not what I mean. I mean, being educated, knowing that this stuff's killing me. This is what made my family sick, why dad died, why Ty died, all these things. And then you start to see it different. You start to see it as almost like a weapon of war that's been waged against us that, that they're using to make us sick. And so then once you see that, you don't want to. I mean, there's so many things now that accountability, being here and talking to you guys. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I know that this is the truth, so I can't feign ignorance and go back to it. And because why? What's that going to tell everybody that's looking for a way out that it's not possible, right? I think it is possible. I think it's not only possible, but it's super attainable, and it's way easier than people think when you have the proper food that you need, when you have the nutrition and the tools that you need. It's not only possible, it's very obtainable. It's right there within
Yeah.
our grasp. So,
And having a community behind you as well is also really helpful. I'd be struggling big time if it wasn't for the community, because they keep me grounded. I go into the community, I hear other people are struggling too. So I know I'm not alone, and we can all sort of lean on each other and give each other support and tips to help, just get through it. It's so
for sure.
nice to know that you're not alone.
For sure. And then, and sorry, Anna is able to get around. I forgot to put that back up there. We didn't read it. I gotta go back. Oh,
Go
she had
back, go
to.
back.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
all right now. I'll punch him for you, don't worry. Guys, I'm so excited to have the best NSV. I went for a last walkthrough of the sample little house I'm going to get built, and I was so comfortable in all the small spaces. I like the shower, 29 kilos, 60 pounds off.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome. Congratulations. Doesn't that feel
Yay.
good?
Oh, so you're getting a tiny home? Is it one of those little tiny homes or something?
No, I know what I mean, it could be, but I think she's just talking about. I always have felt that every space in every house I've ever lived in is a tiny home space. I hate all hallways. I
Yeah.
hate the room between cabinets and the sink and the kitchen. I hate everything about houses. Like, if it was me, they would all be 50 to 100% bigger all the way around, like halls, doors, ceilings, doorways, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
it's getting weird now because my mind still is there, but then when I go through them and there's no problems and I fit just fine, it's weird. It's messing with my head still because I've hated
Yeah.
I've hated it so long.
Well, when we bought this house, everything was very big, and then I even bought new furniture, so we had the big bum chairs and everything, so everything's pretty much made for bigger people, but it got to the point in our my ensuite shower that I had to walk in sideways and
Yeah.
breathe in and hold everything up
Yeah.
just to squeeze in, and it was getting to the point, like, I was actually gonna have to have a conversation with my husband that we'd have to replace the whole shower screen. So, it was a door that opened, like, we either need to do the whole thing so there's no door, because there's no way I can fit in a normal shower anymore.
Right.
And it's a 1.5, like, sort of shower, so you can easily fit 2 people in, normal people, and it was too small for me.
Oh yeah. I know what you
So,
mean.
thankfully, I didn't have to do that. And now I can just walk straight in, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it."
I know. It's kind of funny now when I do certain things like that. I sit in things that no longer I'm worried about breaking, or I walk through things. I know there wasn't a hallway that I ever walked down in a home where I didn't rub both sides of the wall and have to kind of
Yeah,
turn a little bit sideways and walk sideways. There's not a
yeah,
door that I didn't always have to turn sideways when I went through a door. So you kind of sway like a big bull moose or something through the house,
yeah.
and then turn sideways all the hallways and doorways. And so I still get up the doors, and this little thing in my mind flips like I need to do that. And I'm like, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just
but that's why you lock yourself in your house and you become a prisoner in your home, because you don't wanna go out, because you fear the steps, and how many steps from the car to the front door, and now the steps to get up there, and where are you gonna sit? Do the
yeah.
chairs have arms on them? Like,
Yeah.
so
Am
many.
I going to destroy somebody's property today?
Well, my girlfriend, my daughter, she drove me out to go and visit her, and, like, I struggled. That was a big trip, and we get to her house, she had floorboards. I thought I was gonna fall through her floor. There's a creak in the floor, and it was literally bowing under my weight to go, because it was a really old house.
Yeah.
And then the bed was it was steel, but they were little thin things, And I didn't actually go to sleep that night. I sat on the edge of or tried to sit on the edge of the bed, but not put my weight on it because I was scared if I was lying, I was going to end up on the floor. And so I just sat and kind of made just all night. They were quiet, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. I was so uncomfortable there. I just couldn't wait to get home the next day. Oh, that was awful. Anyway.
I know what you mean. I had a similar more than one, a similar experience.
Yeah.
Question: do you recommend an indoor smoker? I've never had one, so I can't recommend or not recommend actually.
I
So
suppose mine's an indoor one because I open the windows to let the smoke in the house.
no, yours is definitely not an indoor one. You do not. Hers is not an indoor one.
No,
You
it's
you
not. No,
you'd be in
I just like
trouble.
the smell.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't had one either, but if you get one, let us know how it goes.
for sure. I think this was a question when I asked on the addiction question. Yeah, I know. I think we do have to define that question because I really don't know. I'm really going to be thinking about this a lot now because we had a really good conversation today on it. And Tim says you cannot fight fleshly appetite by indulging it. Right. Uh, yeah, I don't think it's food either. Okay,
No, no.
but then afterwards, let's see. Oh, here we go. Granny Carnivore Crystal. Does the holiday season trigger you, especially when all the relatives are around, stress, and then all the food and easy accessible? It doesn't me at all. Like it just doesn't. Like I don't. I could care. That's why I keep saying this, and I'm probably wrong because way smarter people than me are telling me that I'm wrong. But I don't feel like I have an addiction to anything like that anymore because I do not get tempted by it. Well, I can be sitting in front of it and I don't sit there and think, oh man, I should eat that or that smells so good. That would taste so good just this one time. All those things that I used to think I don't think that at all. It does not hit me that way anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah. My family's pretty small. It's really just my kids and my husband now. But they come here, they're coming here this Christmas, and they've asked me to put some meat on the smoker. They want to try it. So for me, this year is going to be very easy. I might do a few little sides, or they might bring their own if they want it. But they're quite happy to eat carnivore here with me. I don't have the extended family, this person's not talking to that one, it's all too hard. So we just have the really intimate Christmas here now. So with my husband's side of the family, they normally do a barbecue anyway, and they have salads and desserts and whatever. And I've never been one to go and help myself anyway. I eat afterwards when everybody's not around. So I'm not going to be tempted at the place. And because I'm pretty good now, I won't be eating afterwards. I'll just go take my meat. We always all bring our own food anyway. So I'll definitely be taking my own steak. Last time I made deviled eggs, I got one. The whole family grabbed the eggs and left the pizza. I'm like, they were my eggs. So my food was obviously more appealing than their pizza was. So, yeah, no, I'm not tempted at all. I'm not worried about Christmas.
That's awesome. Yeah. I I agree. It just doesn't bother me anymore. And that's what I hope I hope and I believe that everybody can get to that point, and that's what I hope for everybody because I think that's our natural state. I think that's where we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
But
and I've been talking to some of the women in the Meat Sisters group, and they're all concerned about it. I'm like, this is the perfect time for you to do a prime. It's beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Just do a prime for December. You can eat as much as you want. We don't want you to restrict at all. Eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs all December. January comes, you've got World Carnivore Month. Then maybe then, if you think it's too strict, introduce some pork and fish or whatever, chicken. If you want to stay beef, butter, and eggs, stay. If you want to tighten things up, go Lion Diet for World Carnivore Month. You've already got 30 days under your belt of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. It puts you in a really good start for the New Year's resolution because you've already done 30 days. So then you can decide which way you want to go. I think it's a really good way to start the year. So
mm,
make December your beef, butter, bacon, and egg month, and don't restrict, just eat. You know, you're going to
For
binge
sure.
on crap anyway. Binge on beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and feel great instead. I think December's a perfect time to start.
I think so too. I really do. I really do, because eating through, it's like it's hard to it's hard to put the wrong thing in your glass if it's full, type of thing. A half empty glass is a dangerous thing, right?
Yeah.
So you got to fill the void. So I completely agree.
Mm.
Do women have a harder time fasting than men? My daughter and I discussed this. I don't know the answer to that. My gut feeling, just from thinking about the number of men that seem to fast versus the number of women, I would think maybe that's true. But also, um, in my head, I would think I try not to ever make those connections. And maybe that's just me, a mental game that I play. I don't want to even remotely know of anything that I might have an excuse to not do if I need to do it. So I don't want to have any reason or excuse. So I don't know. I would say maybe, but do you want to know if it is true? Because it still probably won't change the fact that if you have a reason to fast, it wouldn't change the fact that you still have the reason to fast, right? So maybe you don't want to look into that too deep.
I do think we have to maybe plan a little bit more around that time of month because their hormones are all pretty screwy by then. And they say you should have a lot of food and fat before that time of month comes along. So I think Dr. Mindy Peltz is like one of the fasting experts. So she's got some really good books that you could look into. But yeah, I struggle to fast because of my lap band procedure. So I can't prime enough. So if I do a fast, it's going to be a white knuckle fast, which is not recommended, and then it becomes torturous, and it's just setting myself up for failure if I try to do that. But I do intermittent fast, just naturally. That works for me. So yeah, I do think, why do you want to fast? Is there a reason? Are you trying to cure something or autoimmune issue or whatever? Maybe it might be for a bit of weight loss, but just remember when you do fast, you tend to always put a lot of that back on anyway. So it's just being consistent with meat and a bit of extra movement if you can. Hi, Missy. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Missy. Anna's she says, "Oh, Lindy, what an awful experience. I love the freedom of not being terrified of unknown chairs and other seats." For sure. For sure. Yeah, we all know that feeling. Anybody that's ever been of any kind of size going, who's
Yeah.
who am I about to owe for this wicker furniture that I'm about to?
Oh, well, on the weekend, I had to do a wedding delivery with my husband, and my daughter had 5 weddings on, and we had a car, like a van that she borrowed, and it had this really narrow entry. So you had to sort of stick your feet in here and pull myself into the car. That was okay. Went to put my seatbelt on and it didn't fit. And I'm like, I haven't not been able to fit into a car and put a seatbelt on for ages. It almost took me back to that, 800 pounds. It's like, how can this seatbelt not fit me now? Because every other car I've been in recently, I fit. So that was really heartbreaking. And my husband's just like, and just got his seatbelt on. But yeah, it's not a nice feeling. Yeah, just being in the
No.
car. I was able to get in it with a bit of a shove from my husband. But then when I couldn't put the seatbelt on, and yeah, it wasn't a very good van. I won't be
No.
going in that again. But
for,
yeah, it was a nasty reminder of where I was.
for sure. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know there's vans I couldn't drive at all at work. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hard-headed carnivore. I like that name. That's a good thing to be a carnivore. Todd, when you were eating 36 eggs a day, was that store-bought white eggs or farm fresh? We have lost so many chicken farms around here. A lot of folks stop raising chickens. Yeah, I know what you mean. So they were store-bought eggs, but I would get them at Costco, and I get they weren't all store-bought eggs. I have 20 chickens at my sister's, so some of those are My sister's chickens, eggs that she raises for me, but the rest are Wilcox eggs at Costco because they are the Hooterite eggs. And all like, look, I'm no egg expert, but what I did is once I had my own fresh eggs, farm fresh eggs for my chickens, I knew what basically an egg should feel like, taste like, with the thickness of the shell, what the yolk should taste like, the texture of it. So then I went around, tried to find eggs that were as close to that as possible. And the ones that I found that I liked that were the most financially reasonable too. I mean, because there's those Vital Life ones that are like $10 or a dozen or something that's crazy, that are really very fresh. But the Wilcox ones were a good compromise, I would say, at Costco. They're really close. The Vital Farms ones were a little bit closer, I would say, but not worth paying 4 times as much, especially if you're trying to eat 36 to 54 a day. Yeah, I didn't want to be doing that with pricey eggs. So I used the Wilcox ones at Costco. And right now, for the last reprime, I did basically a lion diet reprime. So I haven't eaten the eggs, but I got to get back to it. But when I am eating eggs, I no longer eat 36 full eggs a day. Try to eat 54 yolks a day. I drink 54 raw yolks a day. And I'm doing
Yeah.
most of those Wilcox.
We normally buy them from a farm and, they're usually free range, but the last few months, they were out of stock. They just haven't had them, so we've had to go for the caged ones, which we just don't have a choice. We just have an egg shortage here in Australia. Well, obviously, the shops that I go to, the shelves are always empty. Mhm.
That's crazy. That I hear that's happening quite a lot. When I first got my job driving a passenger van, I needed a seatbelt extension. 120, 26 plus pounds later, I joke that I can secure myself and the passenger with the same belt. Oh, for sure,
Good job.
for sure. Shit,
Yeah.
I know those days. I was when I flew to. I'm hoping I might be able to fit in one seatbelt now on a plane. I don't know. I was hoping. So I used to have to get two seatbelt extensions on the airplanes, and the last one I was almost fit into just the seatbelt that was there, but it was about 6 inches short. So I had to get one seatbelt extension, but that was quite the quite the step up from needing two. So hopefully the next time I fly, it'll just be one. But I know exactly what you mean by the seatbelt extensions for sure.
Yeah, I remember, going out with my girlfriend. I had to sit in the back seat, and I couldn't get the seatbelt on, and she's like, "Well, we can't drive until you put your belt on because the beeper's gonna go off." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do? It doesn't fit." I had to, and she made me feel terrible. Like, I still remember, had to plug it in, like, so it wouldn't go off. It was so embarrassing. Like, what do you say when people, say things like that? It's a bit nasty.
For sure. It is.
Yeah.
I just used to come up with funny stuff, like when I was on a plane. You'd have to give the stewardess the seatbelt extension symbol, which is this, and then she would start walking back there, and I'd always yell, and I get a laugh out of this, and said, "Might as well make it a double." I need two of those suckers.
Yeah.
Uh, it looks like Cranky Carnivore and Big Man Alaska have joined the Flatulence Club here.
Caught a
John,
seasonal bug over the holiday, and I'm not sure why I'm nonstop, but almost never part since Carnival. Wow. Are you
yeah,
having dairy? I know dairy can, my daughter
I think
makes her
Cranky
go.
I think Cranky Cat cracked the case because he said I had to take antibiotics for a root canal, and I've been farting up a storm after most
Oh,
meals. So
yeah.
I think that's what they got going on over there. That's
Yeah, I know
funny,
when one of my daughters has it, like, we always joke around that we need gas masks, those nuclear gas masks, because
right?
it's like she's rotting from the inside after she's had cheese.
Yeah, some people with lactose intolerance, though, they would
Yeah.
clear a barn for sure. Let's see here. All right, did I miss anything? I'm just going back here to make sure I got everybody.
Oh, if you've got a question there, reach out while you have us. If you want to see any photos of Todd, I don't have any. Where's Michael?
No, there's gonna be no photos. Getting a break from that. Fight flesh. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm looking. I think
Do
we
you want
got
to
everything.
open up the chat? Does anyone want to jump on and say hi? I'd love to meet some of you
Sure.
guys. Yeah.
Sure, we'll pop that in there. You guys can hop on if you have any questions, or if you wanna be on the channel and say hi.
Yeah.
And
You don't have to turn your camera on. You can leave your camera off if you're shy. I did that for 2 years on SPG, so
yeah, if you have any questions. All right, I think we made it through that. All right. Well, we also would like to know what your guys' plans are. Also, I think we're only, what are we, 2 weeks away from the Christmas giveaway special?
I know we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so
We've got to organize that.
we better get our crap together this week. We're
I'm
getting close.
sure. I'm sure Michael's on it, hopefully.
Oh, I hope so. One of us needs to get on it. Let's see. I had a colon restriction. You're never positive if
Resection.
there's gas or resection. I got you. Yeah, don't take
Yeah.
any chances for sure.
I feel like that without a gallbladder. Sometimes you just like never know. It's
Right.
better to be safe than sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want disaster pants. Hey, LaDonna. Very good
Hi
to
there,
see you.
Donna.
Yeah, that could be a nightmare.
Yeah. I'm sure we've all got our fair share of stories about that.
For sure. I was laughing at it yesterday. I had to put in a toilet yesterday, and I was laughing because I had a terrible toilet experience when I was a kid at a restaurant that busted off the wall and caused a slight bit of water damage. That had me laughing because when I was looking in there, they had the type of toilets that mounted to a wall, and I'm like, not getting one of those son of a guns. And I was like, actually, it might be okay now.
We need to make a short out of that story. That was one of the best. Between that one and the plane story, they were good stories.
Those were rough ones. Rough days ahead. Let's see here. Yeah, and but that was interesting too, was you know, getting in there and changing out the fixtures and everything. I didn't think that was going to be so easy because there was room. Hey, there's Big John.
Hey, John.
All right, guys.
Howdy.
I am not feeling well. I got sick over the holiday, and like I said, I think I slept about 14 or 15 hours on starting Friday in the afternoon, and I slept till about 7 in the morning. It was, and I was flatulent the whole time. It was so strange because, like you said, dairy, I didn't do any dairy until after the fact. I figured if I'm already going to be flatulent, I might as well add it afterwards. So I did the pork rinds with sour cream and, got that fixed out of me. It keeps me out of the cereal bowls. So, I mean, it works.
That's awesome.
I also figure since I'm this week's video that I'm just getting ready to upload is going to be about carnivore stalls and, my expectation of the stall and what we're going to do, because when you're stalling anyways in the wintertime, that's the time you can actually revisit some different foods that would normally stall you, like pork in my case, bacon, maybe some dairy. I got to be easy on the dairy though, because I can gain weight with dairy pretty quick.
Right.
But I mean, it's just stuff we can start revisiting throughout this, next few months. And then, come January, February, I think everything's going to start picking up again. And I'll finally hit that goal weight of 235.
That's awesome.
I'm pushing there. But I'm not going to force it like I did last winter, because you guys remember I tried forcing it. It did not work. During the wintertime, don't force things. Just try to be steady and consistent.
100%. Yeah, there's no sense in driving yourself nuts, and you just end up hurting your metabolism, under eating, causing more stress, and then it's worth it. It's just like let your body do what it does, and then it'll, if you keep the stress level down, and you just eat healthy, healthy meat, and whether you put on a little weight or stall out, whatever, it doesn't matter, because come spring, come summer, it just melts off. I mean, it really does just come off with a vengeance.
Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head about getting on airplanes and getting in cars and trying to buckle your seatbelt. That was a problem for me. I was almost to the point. I never did have to get a seatbelt extension on an airplane, but I used to fly back and forth from Anchorage to Prudhoe Bay all the time. And that was part of my job, was flying back and forth. And they used to sit me in the very back of the plane. Basically, we call it like the fat man rows. And typically we didn't have anybody sitting next to us because we were just spilling over into the seat next to us. And it was a frustrating time in my life. It was embarrassing. And I couldn't believe that last trip to Nome that I took this summer, where I actually got in the seat, and I'm in there real tight like a little kid. I'm like, and I got a little kid sitting next to me, and he's just blown away after I told him just a little bit about my story. And I was like, yeah, man, I used to be this much wider. And he looked at me, he's like, wow, that's amazing. And he was just a little kid from Galena, one of the small villages up north, and was just amazed. And he was only about 15 or 16 years old.
That's awesome.
But he was worried about his family and his lifestyle, because I guess in the village they just feed them trash food a lot of the times because it's just cheaper. And it's kind of hard to hear that.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, and I mean, look what they feed them in school now. They got Coca-Cola and processed pizza and all that crap in there. But thank God it's low fat. They got rid of the dangerous fat. It's so solid.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have ham in your sandwiches anymore. No more meat.
Wow.
Yeah, some schools they banned meat.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Hey, John, did you ever have? So my favorite part of flying when I was huge, because it was so bad, was walking down the aisle and looking at the horror of everybody that I passed when they thought that I might have to sit next to them.
Oh, I know that one well. Yes, I do know that one well. And it was very rare that I got to sit towards the front of the plane, and I never enjoyed the front of the plane before the wings because it was bumpier over there.
Yeah.
So I either liked it on the wings or just behind the wings anyways, because it was a smoother ride. But yeah, once in a while I got to sit in an exit row because, I was so big, and that was the safest place to put me at the time, just to balance, because we have to actually balance the planes out according to weight up here.
Yeah.
Just to get them just right. And they picked the biggest guy to do that.
Well, that's handy, because the exit rows usually don't have a seat so close in front of you, so you got a little more leg room usually.
And that's always been my problem too, is I got some pretty long legs. I got a weird, torso and leg length. So sitting in those if somebody were to lean back, it would be like right up against my knees, and I'd have to like sit in a weird position. And with all that water retention I had in my legs and my feet, I get to the other end, and I could hardly walk because, my whole body was pinched up in there for so long.
Oh, for sure. 100%. It was always a nightmare for sure, but it was always just funny. That was my favorite part, because as I was coming down the aisle, people would be looking at me if there was a seat open next to them, and I'm sitting here looking at my ticket, looking for numbers, and people are just, and then the sigh of relief when you walk by, and then when you finally slowed down, you got to your seat. I actually had one woman say the F-bomb when she saw me. She goes, F. And she looked out the window.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Well, sort of, right? It was horrible, but it was so horrible that I actually eased the tension, because I would have actually, I would tend to feel bad for people that I'd have to sit next to, unless they were a grade A jerk. And then I just enjoyed every minute of it, because now I'm just going to make your life miserable because you're a tool bag. And this lady was a complete and total tool bag. And by the time we were gone, I had the whole plane on my side, and they were all, this woman was miserable, absolutely miserable in life. But It's fun if you get a chance. If you're a big guy and you get a chance, and somebody's being a tool to you, just enjoy it. Just lean into it. Just make fun of it as hard as you can. It's pretty funny.
Now that I've been that large, 435 pounds, and I've been the guy on the airplane, I have a lot more compassion for those people that are bigger than me now.
Sure.
When I see them, because I understand what they're going through, and it's a hard journey, especially trying to wrap your mind around being able to lose weight. And then getting started, that's another thing. It's just, I think the starting point for me is I was just so fed up. I was ready to go. I didn't want to be here anymore. If I didn't pray to God to take my life, I don't think I would have even started a weight loss journey, because it wasn't until the next morning where I just snapped out of it and started learning how to do a little bit of research with these wonderful devices we're all holding in our hands and sitting in front of,
Right.
watching YouTube and actually using it to my advantage. That's when I started opening up all kinds of different pages in my life.
100%. I know exactly what you mean, especially, we got to come to the end of ourselves for sure. That's kind of what happened to me too. But I know what you mean about being more compassionate to the bigger people on the airplanes. When I was going to Austin this summer, I did get a first class ticket because there's just more room up there, and I don't like spilling out into these other seats, and I was still at the time, I think I was 486 when I was on that plane. I think I was 486 pounds.
Mhm.
And on my connecting flight in, I think it was Minneapolis to Austin, a big dude got on the plane and he sat next to me. And I would always sit in the very front row right behind. So the cockpit was in front of me because that had the most leg room in first class. So I sat there and a big dude was sitting next to me, and he was bigger than me for sure, which doesn't hardly ever happen. So that was kind of interesting. So of course, he was trying to give me room. I'm trying to give him room because I'm no small potato either. So I'm kind of cocked to the side and even in first class, but it's pretty, it's workable. But he starts talking to me and he's like, "Oh, you're a big guy too. They shouldn't have put us both on the same side." We were laughing that, the plane was going to do circles now because we're going to bang
That's
our
horrible.
left, and we were joking and we're just going to fly in circles. And, but then I started telling him about Carnivore, and because he goes, "Yeah, man," he goes, "I look like I got you by a few pounds." And this is what was funny. Well, not funny, like hilarious, but this is the kind of mindset that we're in. I could tell this guy hadn't weighed in a long time because he said, "I bet you I got you by a few pounds." He goes, "What are you, 300, 350?" And I'm sitting there at 486. And he goes, I said, "Oh no." I said, I'm like 486. And he goes, "No." He goes, "Because I'm only 350. And I'm like,
Oh,
"No."
wow.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, you're not. Because he was taller than me and he was way bigger." And I'm like, "You're every bit of 500 pounds, like every bit of it, probably 550. And he said he thought he was 350.
Yeah.
And so I didn't argue with him. I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe so. I'm kind of big boned or whatever." I know but I recognize that because you go for so long without weighing yourself that, he goes, and he did later. He goes, "Well, maybe I'm a little heavier because I haven't really had a scale that goes over 350. So I just assumed I'm right about 350." And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
You're like 550. And but at any rate, I just showed him old pictures. I said, "But at any rate," I said, "I had you way beat." And I showed him some pictures when I was 700 plus pounds. And I'm like, "You can come back from that." And I gave him all the stuff, information and stuff, how to get a hold of us. But I just remember thinking that day, it's like, yeah, we all used to do that. We all used to let the scale max out, and then we go, "Oh, I'm probably just 5 pounds over that," and that's where our head would stay, And so, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
funny games we play.
It is mind games because I used to watch the 1,000-Pound Sisters and they used to jump on those scales, the ones that talk to you, and they're 648 pounds. So I bought myself those scales thinking, if they could do it, I'm definitely not as big as them. I'll be able to finally get my weight. Bought the scales, they arrived, stood on there, error. Like, what? And for like 3 or 4, 6 years or something, I had these scales, and every time I jump on them, error. So I thought they must have been broken, but
Yeah.
they weren't. They weren't. I eventually did get a reading, but I didn't picture myself. I did not think I was as big as those girls on TV,
For sure.
because you just don't think about it.
You don't.
And then I never look in the mirror, because I would see myself, but I wouldn't see myself, if that makes sense. Like I didn't.
I was just talking about, I think I was talking about that with you today as well, earlier, but it's fun to laugh about these things now, but I think there was 2 traumatic events that happened in my obese journey when I got really overweight. One of them was seeing morbidly obese on one of my doctor's reports, one of my exams. That really affected me a lot. And another one was, the Nintendo Wii.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the little platform. I stood on that thing, and then the character, makes you just really super fat, and then it says, get off. Just get off the machine. You're going to break it. I mean, it gives you that kind of a notification. It's like, you're too heavy, you're too obese. And I was just like, I felt kind of crushed at that time, because I didn't, just like you say, even when you lose the weight, you don't see yourself as skinnier, even though you're a lot skinnier now. And when you look at yourself, just downwards, you just don't see it until people really start talking about it. And yeah, I mean, this Thanksgiving, my Papa was talking to me about it a lot. He's like, wow, I just can't believe the discipline you had. And, me and Todd talked about this last week. I said, it's not discipline. I mean, it's not. I said, I'm not disciplining myself at all. I'm just not eating those things that everybody else is eating. I'm still eating food. And it was probably the best choice I ever did, was listen to you guys and swing around this way and start eating more meats and fats, and getting more serious with beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. That was a fun experiment. That was one of the best experiments I've ever done, was 90 days, even though I only had 30 solid straight days of beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. The rest of it was still the majority. And it was an amazing transition that I went through, while I was doing that. I was losing weight, losing inches. I was feeling better. I had way more energy than I thought I was going to have, because I was worried. I'm on a job site. I was like, man, I got to work 12, 13 hours a day. I got to, maintain throughout the day. And I managed to do that with 1 meal a day and no snacks throughout the day. Just drinking water all day.
Yeah. 100%. Oh man, I got to pop this comment up. That brings back memories. I know that scale. That's the only way that I used to be able to weigh. And ours was, now it's a Lowe's. It used to be a Bear's truck stop or a Flying J. But yeah, when I used to get on that thing in the bathroom, I'd always have to go to the truck stop to try to weigh. And when I first got on it, when I was 14, it just said error, because I was over 600 pounds when I was 14. And then after a year and a half of work, I got down to 510 pounds and it registered. And I go in there and it said 510 pounds. And that was after working on this job, climbing 14 flights of stupid stairs every day up and down. And my brother would run me up and down those stupid stairs on purpose to run weight off me. So that brings back memories for sure.
I was terrified of stairs. I got 4 stairs that lead out of my little trailer home, and I had a hard time getting up and down them, and I thought they were going to collapse. I mean, when I started my first videos, I mean, I seriously thought those stairs were going to give out on me, but I built them myself, thank goodness. So I built some pretty good stairs, and I'm well known for building really reliable staircases. But I mean, I was still worried about them breaking.
Oh, guaranteed. When I was at work, the first staircase I fell through on the job site was at the Grey Wolf Hotel that we were wiring. And we were wiring a hotel, and I was on the 3rd floor. And you know how they make temporary construction stairs out of 2x4s and 2x6s. And I was running for some parts, and I hit that first set of stairs, coming running down them, and the whole stair, that center tread or that center runner on it, busted. And I went through that whole flight of stairs, and I luckily, the 2x6 wall was here, and I grabbed the 2x6s as I was going down, and I landed on the stairs below me on my back, kind of facing down. because I ended up falling basically a half flight of stairs down. And the contractor, the owner, so the stairs, they go down half, hit a landing, then go down. So I fell from this one to this one.
Mm-hmm.
And up on the landing, I'm laying on my back looking up. And there's the owner of the hotel, Ron Sainsbury, Ron Jensen, Rod Sainsbury, the owner of the construction company, and Fred, the superintendent. We're all sitting there. And they used to call me Spanky for some reason when I was on that job site. I was 14 years old on that job site. And I hit those stairs, and Fred goes, "Jesus, Spanky, are you okay?" And I stood up. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then they're all around the owner of the construction site was like, "Somebody go reinforce all the stairs. Fix those stairs before somebody gets hurt."
Wow.
They went through and they started fixing those. And they thought I was going to sue them or something, right? Because I just fell through the stairs. But I got up. My leg was so black because when I busted through the stairs, what I didn't realize is I went down on one shin and I scraped my shin with all 600 pounds down one 2x4 as I was going down it. So my shin was just the grossest color of purple and black and swelled up from ankle to knee. But I stood up. It was the middle of the winter and I couldn't figure out why I felt cold. What happened was I was wearing a size 74 Carhartt bib overalls. If you've ever seen a size 74, I was in a size 74. I looked so ridiculous because they were to make them that big, they were super tall. So I had to jerk them all the way up. The pockets that are on the chest and the Carhartts, they were sucked up against my neck because they were so tall. And the straps on the back, I had that V on the back all the way to the back of my neck. And I had to crinkle up the straps up here, and I had to tape them with electrical tape because it was basically pinching the pockets to the back straps all the way in the back because, apparently they thought to be that big, I was going to be like 6'10" or something instead of 5'10". So I had those all strapped up. But when I fell through the stairs, I blew those things out right in the crotch. So I was ripped wide open right down my new pair of Carhartt bib overalls and ripped those things wide open. I had to go limp back to the truck, drive back to the duplex and get a new pair of bibs. And I came limping in. And when I came in, everybody's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to walk it off." And then they went through and they reinforced all the stairs on that job site. So they made them big T-proof.
I didn't think they made them that big. I thought I had the biggest ones, and I think they were a 55 or a 60.
No, I had to special order them.
Oh, okay. Because that was what I could buy at the store, and it was like that was the largest size that I could get at the time, and I was living in those things. I mean, every day I got up, even when I was sitting at the breakfast table, I was living in those things.
Yep, I know what you mean. That was all that I wore for a long time when I was on the job site was Carhartt bib overalls and Big Macs. If you remember those, the Big Macs, I get some of those. Big Macs were a different brand of big and tall overalls. And but I get the Carhartts, the special order ones. I ordered the biggest ones they had, and they were 74s. And even those, they got the 2 buttons on each side, to button them up. I could only button the first button, not the second button on each side. It's still a little bit too wide. Surely wasn't too tall though, but they were monsters.
Wow.
Yeah. Those are good old days. Let's catch up on a few comments. Anna said, "Just wanted to say thank you, Todd and Lindy, for all the time and knowledge and you gift us with. You have made this last 6.5 months so much easier for me and so many others, I'm sure." Oh, thank you so much, Anna.
Oh, thanks, Anna.
Appreciate you so much. Let's see. Carnivore Hercules says, "A young lady told me that shirt looked good on me. I thought, tell me more."
Yeah. Good job.
That's awesome. That's great. Carnivore Granny says, "Great story, Big Man Alaska. Congratulations on your progress."
Hey, thank you. Hey, also, I did have a interview coming up with Dave Mack.
Oh, that's
December
awesome.
December 15th. I believe it's at 12:30 Alaska time. That's when we got it scheduled for. I'm still trying to work out the bugs on my end because I'm a little bit tech tarded on this end. But either way, we can get a stream going, and I believe that's how he wants to do it, through a live stream. So we're gonna be doing that.
Okay. I think mine was pre-recorded. I didn't know he did live
Oh,
stream interviews.
well, it
so
could be.
that's
Well, we're
cool.
using StreamYard, so
Oh.
he might be doing that, recording it on StreamYard and then doing it.
Yeah, just ask
edited.
him. I think he normally does pre-recorded, but
Okay, I
might-
will. I'll
yeah.
definitely ask him that because that would be helpful for me. Because you're sometimes a little bit different character when you're under pressure at times. So
Yeah. He's so good to he's a fantastic interview. Really makes you feel comfortable. So
yeah, I told him
Yeah.
I talked to you just previously before that, and he's just like, right on. So yeah, seems like a real good guy.
he is. He's lovely. You'll enjoy it. He makes it pleasurable. Interviews
awesome.
are always scary.
Now I had a chance to do an interview with him early on, but it was only 15 weeks into my weight loss journey. That was when I lost my first 100 pounds, and I was terrified. I mean, I wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
The brain fog, I tell you what, you get rid of the brain fog with the carnivore diet, and then all of a sudden you're just like more willing to do things, and you're a
For
lot more
sure.
outgoing. It's kind of bizarre how it works.
That's 100% true, for sure. Getting rid of that brain fog is a huge one. Jammer.
Oh, so we're going to have to find this video. I haven't seen it yet. Can we find it and put it on?
Well,
I think it's a short. He was taking videos of us eating kangaroo, and I've been waiting for him to put it up. But let's see, the second person that's mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
I want to
what
see
can
our
find.
faces.
Let me see what I can find here. Hold on.
All three of us are sitting there like, oh, this tastes really good. And then like we're thinking to ourselves, no, it doesn't. We were hoping to do it with Bella, but she had to rush off to the airport. So yeah, she misses out.
Okay. Nope, here it is. It's full on video, 16 minutes.
Oh, is it 16? Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a little short. Did you put Skippy on the thumbnail? He was talking about doing that.
No, kangaroo said. Let's see here. All right, let me present. Share screen. Prepare. Audio, also audio. There we go. Share and pop. And then advertisement. It's annoying.
In today's episode of Homestead How, we're going to cook carnivore.
I know that place.
Kangaroo. And Adam's going to eat it. While filming the documentary in the home of the wonderful, legendary, limitless Lindy.
He's speechless. Carrier man is speechless.
Interruption. Did you know we have an incredible membership site for you called healinghumanity.life? We have a special offer going on right now. Learn more at the link in the description. We have courses. We have expert Q&As with the good doctor. Picking up kangaroo two ways in today's episode of Homestead How, featuring Limitless Lindy and Adam from Carnivore today. We are smoking Skippy, kangaroo, and then we're going to sear some as well.
Carrie's gonna eat it all.
Adam's going to eat it
We're
all.
gonna eat every little bit of it.
We got to fill up before we take our 40-hour commute back home. Looks like liver.
Wow. I have never eaten Skippy before, so
Adam, you ready to eat kangaroo?
Sure.
This is my life now. 107. That's kangaroo meat right there. Hungry? Just heading outside to get the kangaroo off the smoker, or we call it Adam.
That was brutal to show an actual kangaroo.
I know.
That was cold, heartless, brutal. Oh,
Barbie.
The Bobby. Bobby.
Skippy? Skippy too.
What's the name of our YouTube video going to be? Lindy and Adam.
Skip to Maloo.
Carnivore kangaroo.
Skip to Maloo. my
Cooking
darling.
carnivore kangaroo with limitless Lindy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Limitless Skippy.
Oh, that ribeye looks fantastic. Look at that red. Look at that red. That's cherry red ribeye right there. Ribeye is done and it's going to rest.
The ribeye was good.
Kangaroo too. Lindy, are you going to try the kangaroo?
How much are you going to pay me? I might. If you do it, I'll do it.
I'm going to try it. Adam, you're trying the kangaroo?
Absolutely.
Is this a smoked one? The dark
Yeah, these two are the smoked
They
ones.
actually look really good.
Yeah, you get that red color on it, and that's the flavor too. And this ribeye is fantastic looking.
Yes.
There's no guarantee that I'm going to actually swallow it though. I might spit.
You have
it.
to eat all of it. We can't
might
waste
spit it
food. You don't waste kangaroo.
But you can have my portion.
I think there is a dog next door.
I'm going to get
Chuck it over the fence. This is good.
Right. What's it look like? Not bad. Not
Looks
bad.
like beef.
Medium, maybe.
This is smoked kangaroo too, by the way.
Is it the tough or?
No, I think it's just me. Well, let's see. Salt it. Should I do that whole bite? Or half of that.
You do it. Let's go. There we
Focus.
go.
Focus.
Excellent.
Do you know that about 2 weeks ago I ate my first piece of raw meat?
Oh, okay.
This has got to be easier than raw meat, isn't it? All right, I'm going to give you the honest reaction.
Steak hands.
I saw it.
He's speechless. Gary man is speechless.
The first bite, it's very deceiving. The first bite, it's like, whoa, this tastes like it tasted like a strip steak, New York strip steak. But then you get this real heavy, like grassy flavor, like gamey flavor. I don't hate it. But I want to eat more of that now. All right, who's next? Okay, Lindy's trying kangaroo for the first time in her life.
I'm only
Native Australian.
I'm wimp. I only get a little bit.
Well, how is it?
It's okay.
Right? The first bite, it's like, oh, this isn't
Hmm.
nothing weird.
It's got a bit of a weird flavor.
Is it? See, I think of that like the lamb that you guys have here is great. When I have lamb in the United States, it tastes gamey. That reminds me a little bit of that gamey, like grassy. Gamey. I don't know. It tastes like grass a little bit. Is that what you get too, or no?
I didn't even know what grassy or gamey meant.
Yeah,
but
right.
I think I do now.
That's gamey right there.
You said grassy.
All right, Adam.
All right.
You're gonna eat it. And you're not gonna spit it out. We don't waste our kangaroo here.
All right. I'm gonna get an action shot.
When you're in Australia, you eat kangaroo. Oh, come on. I had a much larger piece than that.
No, you're bigger. You're a bigger man.
Take
than
some
I am.
Redmond salt on there.
Yeah, we got to do salt.
Salt probably would have been good.
Lots of salt. Even though I don't eat salt, I don't want to taste it.
Steak hands? Kangaroo hands. He's thinking about, oh no. What about bouncing around on the lawn like a kangaroo?
No.
Was my description fair?
Well, that has a weird,
So
like,
weird.
aftertaste.
Mm.
It's like, it's very, it almost tastes fruity. Like it's got some kind of extra flavoring in it, like injection into it. It's not that bad, actually.
All right.
No, it's not good.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, pussy.
That was crazy. I don't know. The pure shock on their face was awesome. Shout out to Adam and Carrie. That's awesome. I think this is our first official reaction video, and you were in it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh
Next
my
time we
gosh.
could try I'm trying to see if I can find some crocodile or something that's supposed to be taste like chicken, they say, but I haven't had that either.
Oh my gosh.
Might
That is
see
so
if I can
crazy.
track some down.
Oh man. I don't like gamey meat either, so I probably wouldn't enjoy it either, but that's crazy. That's awesome that you guys did that though. Let's see here. I'm gonna go through our stuff here because we only got about 10 more minutes left, so I want to make sure that we get all the questions. Oh, here we go. There's an upside to it. About 30 years ago, I was applying for a security job. A woman that was interviewing me, my chair was sitting in collapse on the floor, and the woman was scared, so they hired me.
Excellent.
That's
Good
awesome.
way to get a job.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. I suspect it was from our gang comedy in which Spanky was the heaviest character. That could have been. And I never knew why they called me Spanky, to be honest with you, but that makes sense. That's funny.
Oh, there you go. Learn something new.
I wore a size
Cover.
56. They look like a cloth barrel for sure. Dave Mack is awesome. That's awesome. Carnivore Hercules is going to check out your interview for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, don't be scared. He's the easiest to talk to.
Have you been interviewed by Dave Mack yet, Todd?
No, I don't know why, but I've been on live streams with him and I've talked with him, but
yeah.
somehow we've just always missed paths, I guess. So
Yeah. Normally, I think you have to approach him to get an interview. He doesn't normally reach out.
oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, that's probably why then. Someday I'm sure
Mm.
I'll wait till we're at the same carnivore convention or something and see if
Yeah, he asked me when we did the Aussie Carnivore connection a while back. So I was talking to him in backstage. He's like, "Oh, do you want to jump on?" I'm like, "Oh, okay."
awesome.
He was lovely. Yeah.
That's really good.
Thank you, Susan. Never again. That's a once off, I think. I don't want to go back for seconds.
Yeah. Thank you, Crystal. Have a good night. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming in. Anna says, first look at your smoker, Lindy. Wow, it's a beast. Don't know, but they didn't realize they were so huge. Yeah, they are biggins.
That's actually the baby of the range as well, but it's beautiful. I'm very happy with it.
For sure. They're awesome. They're so good. I thought he was going to say it tastes like chicken. Funny chicken. Roux only good cooked hot and fast on a barbecue, although I never tried it in a smoker. I got you.
Yeah, they did one just pan-seared in lots of butter because I posted on the Aussie Carnivore group on Facebook, how do I cook kangaroo? Because I had no idea. And they said fast, cook it really quickly with lots of butter because it's very lean, but it still tasted crap.
Yeah. Ugh.
The smoked version was much nicer because I think it masked some of that fruity flavor.
For sure. Hey, B-Dog. Appreciate you stopping in. I just saw Wicked with the granddaughter and thought it was fabulous. I've seen the play.
Wow, good job.
That's awesome. I don't know what movie that is, but that sounds good.
I think it's a theatre, The Wizard of Oz, isn't it? Wicked.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, stage show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Hey, John, do you have anything you want to shout out? Any of your social media channels or any upcoming events you have?
Well, I'm having problems right now exporting this video, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because it's like the third go around since this live stream started to try to get this thing out. But yeah, trying to get that up. I did have a serious question for you guys. Now, something I've experienced up to this point has been a constant, you know how your body's just constantly readjusting and transforming as you're losing the weight. But my butt, like specifically the butt, I sit on my butt for my job as a truck driver, and it's gone through numerous different types of painful transitions to where it's almost impossible to sit down for over an hour, you know, even in a soft, comfy seat. I have one of those purple seat cushions on my office chair just so I can sit at the desk and do my work over here. But has either one of you experienced anything like that? It's pretty dramatic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
terrible tailbone pain. Like miserable. I have the same purple mattress. I have the donuts. I bought for my office chair early on. I bought like a 8-inch piece of memory foam, and then I put the purple mattress butt seat on top of that, and then I even had this gel filled butt like donut thing for my tailbone that went on top of that because it was so miserable and I couldn't. I mean, just painful. It does go away. I don't know what that was, but your posture comes back up to where you stop sitting on your tailbone, because when I started sleeping correctly on a good, hard, firm bed, my spine aligned better, which meant that when I was sitting down, I stopped sitting I stopped sitting on my tailbone and started sitting more on my front thighs in front of my butt. And that helped.
Yeah. When I first started dropping rapid weight with fasting, and we're talking like crazy weight, like 30 pounds, 20 pounds, 14 pounds at a time each week. I couldn't sit in a big truck for more than 15, 20 minutes without having to get out, stand up. And then as soon as I stood up, I was okay. And then I could get back in the truck and I could continue for another half an hour, maybe. I mean, if I could make it an hour, I was lucky. But I'd have to drive a little bit, get out, walk around the truck sometimes. That would help too, loosen everything up, and then get back in. But man, it was horrible, and it comes and goes still. So once in a while it'll happen, and then it's not nearly like it was, but it still comes and goes even at this point.
For sure. Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but Michael went through that. Lindy went through that. I went through that.
Yeah, I'm still going through that. Yeah, even in the car, I can't stay in for more than half an hour. I have to wriggle in my seat, sit forward, to stretch my back out, because sitting on that tailbone really hurts. Yeah, and when I sit on the couch at night, I sit on my side and I curl my legs up on the couch because I can actually put my legs up, so I'm not sitting on my bottom anymore, which is probably not very good for my back because I'm all crooked. But I just can't sit straight back down. Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that I'm not alone. I don't think it's a video worthy topic because I don't know how I could make that one interesting or even slightly clickable. But it is definitely nice to know.
What a thumbnail, though. You could say, what a pain in the
Yeah.
I've been in YouTube jail once before. I don't want to go there again.
Right. Oh, did you get a hard strike too?
Yeah. I almost got banned. This was early on during COVID. I was literally just reiterating the words of somebody else that was more famous than me around the COVID topic, like verbatim.
Yeah.
And they threatened to ban my channel, like just shut it completely down. I was like, wow. So I had to go through the community guideline strikes, YouTube policy stuff, and take a little class, and finally got taken care of. But then I was like, all right, I'm in my zone now. I'll stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, it's bull crap. I got in trouble, I don't know, a month ago or something over same thing. I repeated exactly what a doctor had said on the news about a drug that shall not be named. And and they shut me down for that too. And it's like, whatever. It's exactly what it's not medical misinformation. It's exactly what medical doctors have said about it, you know, multiple times. So-
I've been lucky I haven't got pinged on that one yet because, I've had some pretty harsh opinions on the same thing.
Right, for sure. Michael, I'm actually not sure where Michael is. I got to go.
Yeah, we'll go ring him after this stream.
Yeah, we got to go ring him. I think he might be having back problems, but I haven't heard from him today. So he was chatting this morning, but I'm hoping he just overslept. So I got to go talk to him because he's been taking some new medication because he's got a herniated disc, and so he's been having some issues with that. So we're gonna go check on him here in about 2 more minutes.
Okay.
I've had pain in my right leg. Is it lack of potassium or something? It hurts sometimes at the hip joint. I'm concerned about it. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many things. I've had so many pains going through the composition changes where my frame has squared up and my spine is squared up and my hips have squared up. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Well, let's just pray it's not a blood clot type situation.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how serious that pain is, I mean, if it's like a stabbing pain, I would go get checked out at least to see what's going on.
For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. If you're concerned about it, you should go and see
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I've got several friends here in Alaska. They've had blood clots in their legs, and they've experienced, they've explained their experience to me because they've been hospitalized each time. And it's just, and a lot of it's like hip pain, knee pain, and just middle of the calf type pain. And then all of a sudden they can't do anything. So that's a problem because we're commercial truck drivers, most of us. So, and we sit down a lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
I bet so. Missed most of the live stream today. I'll catch up on the replay. I appreciate you guys so much. You make such a difference. Oh, thank you so much, Bexy.
Thank you, Beck. Thank you.
And then we'll catch up on these here. Terry List on YouTube also went through pains sitting after 180-pound loss on Carnivore. Yeah.
Yeah, they say, you lose all your weight, everything will be better. And it just gives you a whole new set of problems. Like I've got the problem now with my stomach sitting on my legs and my legs and feet going to sleep because of the weight of my skin is just too much. So it's like, okay, well, it's not really helping now.
For sure. Appreciate it, family, man. Back C says got a blood clot right now. It hurts a lot right now, and the ultrasound experience is always a delight. Yeah, I bet so, man. We'll definitely be praying for you on that, Beck, and hope that gets fixed soon. And thank you so much. Appreciate you. She says, thank you, John, Todd, and Lindy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much. Well, we're, excuse me, sorry, we had to start an hour later today because we had back-to-back meetings, but we are going to call it because Lindy has another meeting. She's got another job to go to today.
No, I've got a date with my daughter. She's waiting for me. She needs some help. So I'm going to head down there and help her out. So,
yeah.
But yeah, thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you coming on. And Anna, she is absolutely getting that surgery. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're about to go ham on this GoFundMe raising, and she's getting that skin surgery. So we're going to make sure of it. So, but thank you, John, for coming on. Everybody go subscribe to Big Man Alaska, and he's got awesome content. And I appreciate y'all, and we will see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Next week. Great. Thank you. Bye.